in keeping with fitness, we're going to jump into a shuttle session.
Okay.
So just some rapid fire sprints.
Great. I'm terrible at sprinting. Let's do it.
I'm going to throw you a topic, run with it, however long or short you want.
Okay.
And when I feel like you're running out of steam, I'm just going to throw you another one.
Okay, cool. Love it.
Just no rest for the wicked. Just sprint and go to the end. And
great.
We'll get there.
Let me get my electrolytes.
Yes, get them in. Cadence. Get the rhythm. Are you down?
I'm down.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to Sparks TV. Today's episode follows a powerful career shift from the fast-paced world of branding to the empowering world of fitness coaching. Today, I'm joined by Tiffany Willis.
Hi.
A strength coach training women at all stages of life, especially those getting started or finding their way back. Tiff, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Are you ready to run the gauntlet?
Yes.
Are you sure?
I am.
Oh, let's do this.
I've been warming up. I'm ready.
Let's do this. Okay, so Tiff, the lifestyle and fitness industry is booming, and it has been for a while. Everything from run clubs to yoga, from CrossFit to ultramarathons. I wanted to kick things off and get your take on 2 current fitness brands.
Okay. Ooh,
and
nice.
I think, just from your point of view, because you know both worlds, branding world, fitness world. So our good friends at Fluoro rebranded Sweaty Betty and repositioned the brand around the idea of don't sweat it, emphasizing a more inclusive, personal and movement-orientated space rather than the kind of max out, perfect body narratives. So as someone who knows both sectors well, what do you think of the repositioning work that they did with the brand?
It's really interesting because, I love it. I think Sweaty Betty is a brand that is quite an inclusive brand already. I think it is, if I see Sweaty Betty, I just you see all sorts of women in it, mostly certain demographic, like a certain age, slightly early 30s plus. So it's already quite inclusive, I think, from an age point of view. But I love that because I think more brands probably should have that narrative when it comes to fitness and be a little bit more inclusive. I think it's fine to be very niche and really targeted, but that's kind of different, right?
Yeah.
Sweaty Betty is much more mainstream.
Much more inclusive.
Much more inclusive. And I really love the language around the campaign as well.
Yeah, the don't sweat it line is just so perfect, tapping into the kind of equity of the word sweat and kind of switching it to bring it into more just relax a bit more, but also you don't need to push yourself to the max.
Exactly. Historically, it's always been push hard or go big or go home, right?
Yeah.
And actually that sort of slightly softer approach, I think, is good. It probably enables women to be oh, I don't need to be perfect. I don't need to look like this. I don't need to be doing this and that to wear these clothes.
Yeah.
It's actually okay. And
Nice.
I think that's always going to be a good thing for women.
Amazing. I love that. Okay. So let's crank things up a notch. I noticed that you also had a pair of Rad V2s.
I do.
On your Instagram
I'm
page.
a new convert.
Nice. Okay. So Rad has really taken off over the last couple of years. It's gone from strength to strength. First of all, how are the V2s and what do you think of the kind of Rad brand as well?
Well, firstly, I think we were speaking about this the other day. I'm very new to the sort of Rad tribe.
Yeah.
I've been aware of the brand for years. I think I've always historically been very I'm going to say the British word Nike, Metcon girl, not Nike, because I'm an American. But I've always worn Nikes. I'm very much live in Metcons.
Yeah.
And so I was a little reluctant because Rad is such a new brand.
Yeah.
And I was what's the quality going to be like? Is it worth the money? Is it worth the hype?
Yeah.
And then I just kept seeing them. I'm they're really cool. I'm going to get them.
Yeah.
And I'm a complete convert. I love training in them.
Yeah.
I think they're super comfy. I can run in them. I can strength train. I can be agile and stable. And they also just look really cool.
Yeah, they're super cool.
They're super cool.
I've got a pair of the V1s or the Rad ones.
Yeah.
And I just love they kind of cross that bridge between fashion and
100%.
sport, but they also have got the functionality aspect.
Super functional. And they look great. And I think from a brand point of view, I think they they're just really cool. It
Yeah,
is a
yeah.
little bit more lifestyle. It's very much in that like kind of CrossFit,
Yeah.
high roxy sort of
Subculture.
space, subculture. The photography looks amazing. Like the tone of voice is amazing.
Yeah.
Like everything is really, really cool. And so when I wear them or if I see someone else wearing them, it's almost like a little nod. You're kind of like,
Yeah.
you get it, you get it. And I see that sometimes in the gym. I work in a commercial gym, and when I see someone wearing a pair of Rads, I'm like, oh yeah, you're cool.
The little nod.
It's so silly.
Yeah.
You can see a million people wearing Nikes, but it's very different.
That's actually super cool in terms of like both brands or both brand examples here. They both tap into community, but there's kind of different dials
Very
and different
different.
switches. Like
Yeah.
Sweaty Betty, much more inclusive, much more kind of like that age range and like, you know, more kind of entering that fitness space.
Yeah.
Rad tapping into the kind of subcultures. So Tiff, with all our guests, we love to take it back to where it all began. So let's rewind the clock and take it back.
Okay.
What sparked your interest in the world of fitness?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Like, I mean, growing up, I hated PE. I hated all things sport.
No way.
Like, I didn't play sport at all. I would be
Wow.
that like sad loner girl in the gym, in like little suburb of Dallas.
Oh, wow.
Just being like, oh God. And I hated it. And then like fast forward decades.
Yeah.
I was dating this guy who was like what I can only really classify as a bit of a meathead. It's like muscles and tats.
Amazing.
And he was very much like he would squat and all this stuff. And I would go to the gym and I would just spend an hour on a treadmill, do a little bit of ab work. And then so I never really got into it. And then when I moved to London, I think when I was 30,
Right.
I was invited by a friend into Frame in Shoreditch.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Into a kettlebell class.
Nice.
And I remember it was like, I think 7:30 p.m. The music was amazing. Like all the people there, mostly women, were really cool. And I absolutely loved it. And I just got the buzz.
Wow.
And that was, I started going more and more. I started doing more kettlebell classes and more strength classes. And yeah, that's kind of where it started.
I love that. It's mad to hear you say that you hated PE back in the day, considering
it.
where you are now.
I know, I
Like,
hated
it's
it.
actually mind blowing.
I have no coordination when it comes to sports.
Really?
Zero.
Did you just like run into the wall and stuff?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But no, that's so cool to like that kind of example of that one moment or the classified meathead that kind of shifted your perspective and got you
Yeah.
into it. And then the kettlebell session, like it's a proper full 180. So back in the day, can you paint us a picture of how it was growing up in Dallas?
Yeah, so I'm from Dallas. I was mostly raised by like a single mum, and she, I mean, like this was the early 80s, right? So like she just basically did her best. She was really, really supportive in sort of saying you can do whatever you want, but like she never really pushed me in sort of one direction or another. So I never really played sports. She sort of just didn't really encourage that. But what she did sort of, I guess, encouraged me to do was what's called drill team.
Oh, wow.
The only way I can classify it is like a cross between gymnastics and cheerleading.
Right, cool.
And so the first year I did it, I mean, I was awful. The only thing I can really imagine is a bit like Bambi with like just these legs and like arms and zero coordination. I had no rhythm and it was awful.
Wow.
And then the second year, I don't know, maybe I just got into it, found my rhythm, and then I became head captain. So I was like, if you know anything about American sports, there's like a 50-yard line on the
Yeah.
field, right? So the head captain wears a white whistle and you're on the 50-yard line. So that was that was
you were
me.
the captain.
I was the captain.
Wow.
And I must have been like, I don't know, 11 or 12. And I did it for a few years and then basically hit puberty, discovered punk rock music and boys and
Rock and roll.
rock and roll.
Amazing. At that time, were you kind of like, what sort of stuff were you into? Because I know you're a massive fan of music,
I
like,
am.
which, you know, you got me onto when we worked together.
Yeah.
You gave me a shout on loads of awesome bands. So
Yeah.
what were the sort of stuff at that time that you were
Um,
into?
So when I was sort of like 15, that's kind of where I'm going to pitch it probably.
Yeah.
I was into everything. Like it was such a world of discovery. Like it was long before, like, I mean, obviously the internet existed, but it was pre-Spotify, it was pre all that stuff. So I would just
Yeah.
go with my friends and we'd sit in record stores and we'd thumb through the records and just listen to stuff. So I was into Sonic Youth, Fugazi, The Cure is my favorite band of all time.
Oh, really?
They are. I've
Nice.
seen them 15 times.
Really?
I have.
Wow.
What else did I listen to back then? I mean, like Smashing Pumpkins, like these things that were really
class.
popular in the day. Jane's Addiction, like Black Flag, just like lots of really cool bands.
Love it. Like, that's so cool. Like, I love the indie skater vibes. And like,
Yeah.
we've also got a bit of a kind of music section coming up in
Love
throughout
it.
the
I'm here for
episode.
that.
So like, we'll come back to that
Great.
as well. Absolutely love it. But do you know what I also love, right? So you said that your passion for fitness kind of took off when you went to the kettlebell session at Frame. And it was a much more engaging kind of experience, gave you that buzz.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to people that are kind of maybe stuck in that kind of mindset of, oh, fitness is just endless treadmill,
Yeah.
boring salads? Like, maybe it's an outdated view, but like for
Yeah.
anyone stuck in that sort of maybe headspace, what advice would you give them?
It's interesting. Like sometimes I think people are just too hard on themselves and they're too, there's like a fear attached to it, right? Because you think, I don't know what I'm doing. Everybody's going to look at me. I'm going to be judged. And the thing I tell my clients all the time is nobody gives a shit.
True.
Everybody's in there working on
Yeah.
themselves. They have their own goals, like their own hang-ups, like whatever it is. They don't care what you're doing over here.
Yeah, yeah.
So the only thing I can really say is just fucking own it. Like own the space, take up space. If you're a little bit nervous, go with a friend,
Nice.
join a class where it's normally much more inclusive, which is what I did. Because in a class space, like often there's loads of first timers. And because it's a class, you know, there's music and there's a structure and people are just telling you what to do. Doesn't matter if you're good or bad.
Yeah.
Good or bad. I use the terms loosely.
Yeah.
But like nobody gives a shit.
No, that's so true.
And actually, for those people who think it's kind of all or nothing, like you have to spend hours on a treadmill or eat salads, like absolutely not. I mean, that is genuinely what I used to do
Really?
15, 16 years ago, because
Wow.
that's what I thought you needed to do.
Yeah.
When actually the opposite is true.
Yeah.
Lift heavy shit and eat food, like fuel your body.
Yeah, a lot of food as
Honestly.
well, right?
A lot of food, like a lot of food. Like we can get into the more nuanced sort of element of macros and proteins and carbs and like calorie deficits. But
Yeah.
on the whole, you need to fuel your body well.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was going to say there actually, like I've recently been going to some F45
Yeah.
classes, and it's been a while since like I usually either play five-a-sides or just go to the gym and make it up as I go along.
Yeah.
And there sometimes can be that anxiety of like, I don't know what to do. But the F45 thing, for example, going to the class, it's so much easier and it's
Yeah.
actually more effective as well.
Yeah.
It's way more fun.
Yeah.
And it just kind of sets you along your way. You just turn up, you just follow the steps and you're good to go.
Exactly. And F45 is quite intense as well.
It is actually.
Like it's quite hardcore, isn't it?
The first one I did was a cardio, and I swear I
Okay.
did not think it. The guy was like, my first thing was the bike as well. He was like, okay, just sprint on this.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Was it the assault bike?
It was mental, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Awful.
honestly, I nearly blacked out. Like in the
Yeah.
first set, I was like, I'm never making this through.
Yeah.
And these guys think I'm the most unfit guy ever. But
Yeah.
it was
But
actually.
you won't be.
I made it through, and
Yeah.
but it was so effective.
Yeah.
Like I've been loving those actually.
Yeah, and it's a really good place to start. Like sometimes I think there's a fine line between people who, if that's like where you're starting, like that's quite like that's up here at this level, right?
Yeah, true.
So sometimes I might say maybe
Go for a
a little
run.
bit more entry level. I don't know. Depends on what you like. But
Okay, Tiff, this is such a cool part of your story. So, initially moving from Texas to London, building a successful career in the creative world,
yeah,
at the top of your game as an account director, and then eventually switching lanes into the fitness world. But before we do the kind of dive on the career switch, I'd love to pause for a moment on your time in the design world.
okay.
Do you have any standout memories or studios or kind of key projects that you look back on from that time?
I think they all stand out in their own way.
Yeah.
I loved all the agencies that I worked for. So Deep, when I worked with you.
Was that the first one you worked at?
No, I worked for like a more, they don't even exist anymore. They were much more, God, it's been so long since I've been in that world. I don't even remember what they did, but it was very different.
Yeah.
Deep was the first agency that I
Okay.
worked at that was much more like premium branding, like
Yeah.
an actual branding agency.
Yeah.
Whereas I think the agencies before were much more digital and basically built websites and stuff.
Yeah, right.
For things like Squarespace.
Yeah.
And so Deep was my first one, very like premium branding. And I worked at Together Design for 6 years, which was probably felt like my my agency home,
Oh, wow.
if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
that's where I feel like I really, really built my career
Yeah, nice.
as an account director.
Was there any other sort of studios that kind of came after that as well?
So Ragged Edge
Yeah,
was, I think,
nice.
the big one. And what's funny is when I worked at Deep 12, 13 years ago,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
applied for a job at Ragged Edge way back
Really?
then when I was at Deep.
Were
And
they,
I mean,
was that when they were around
they were
then?
still around.
Wow.
Yeah, they were around then. And then never heard back from them. I think I actually ended up applying 3 times. And the third time I was successful. And I think I went on like 4 or 5 rounds of an interview
Wow.
process.
That's pretty
before
grueling,
they
isn't
offered
it?
me the job. And it was literally the agency that I wanted to work for.
Yeah, nice.
I mean, their creative is amazing. Their standards are really high. Everybody who works at the agency like gives 110%.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they really, really love what they do. The culture, I mean, everything about it, like it ticks every single box,
See,
every box.
see, kind of going back to your almost like your early days, kind of skate culture, indie vibes, music, and even the film photography and stuff.
Yeah,
Do you enjoy working with creatives?
I love it.
Yeah.
This, I'm going to like blow my own trumpet for a minute, but like, I think because I have a creative background
Yeah.
in that I really value creativity
Yes.
as a whole,
Yeah,
art,
yeah.
photography, whatever. I think working with creatives, I'm not taking away anything of what creatives do.
Yeah,
So
of
I'll
course.
choose my words wisely. I feel like I understand the process a little bit, or I
Yeah.
understand good creative versus bad creative. I think
Yeah.
there's a lot of people in client services
Yeah.
who are very effective, very like goal oriented and get things delivered, but they
Yeah.
kind of don't really care if it's good or bad, or maybe know if it's good or bad creative.
Yes.
Whereas I think if you're going to be a really successful account director, you have to kind of have both hats on. You have to have the client's brief in mind and what you know the client is looking for and really understand what that is. And you also have to understand how that is presented creatively.
Yeah.
However it's arrived at the creative, that's not my thing. But you have to be able to push back to the creative and say,
Yeah.
not quite sure that's what the client's looking for,
Yes.
or have you thought about this, or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Is it quite hard? Like, is it quite like a bit of a balancing act trying to like harness that creativity whilst you've got the pressure of the budget squeezing every day as well? Like,
It's super hard.
Is that the kind of the tension point that?
I think so. And like, but I love working with like all creatives because actually that's the fun part. Like
Yeah.
I can do spreadsheets and I can
Yeah. Yeah.
do budgets and I can write proposals and
Yeah.
well, I could. I don't know if I could now, but like, but like the creative that's the fun bit. That's the really juicy bit. So I always loved it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you have to have the balls, I think, to push back either on the client side
Yeah. Yeah.
or on the agency side.
Yeah, yeah.
You teeter the edge a little bit.
Yeah. I remember working with you back then 12 years ago,
Yeah.
and Deep was my first job in London. And like, I think I've worked with loads of different account directors. Everyone's got their own style and kind of way of working. But I do remember that you were very like tuned into the creative side as well. Like you just got it.
I think I'm a creative inside.
Ah, here we
I'm
go.
kidding. I'm so not.
So also, right, so what I wanted to kind of ask you as well is like, during all this time, were you also kind of going through different gears with your training on the side as well?
Yeah, I think my training, so like I started kind of doing the kettlebell classes
Yeah.
and just class-based sort of stuff. And then when I was at Deep, I joined Soho Gyms, which was not in Soho, it was actually at the Waterloo one.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And it was like I found myself basically. I really, really, really got into strength training. I got my first PT.
Nice.
I had quite a few PTs actually through my time at Soho Gyms, but I found like my little tribe. They were mostly all gay men.
Right.
Because of the gym, if you know anything about it. But it was like a really safe space for me. It was non-judgmental, maybe because they were all gay men and I was a
Yeah,
female.
yeah.
I don't know. But you might want to cut that. I don't know.
No,
but
that's all
like,
good.
but I just found, like, I think I found what I really loved, which was strength training.
Ah, okay.
So I had like bodybuilding coaches and I learned a lot about nutrition and how to fuel your body well. I had a calisthenics coach. So I kind of learned handstands. Well, I worked very hard at learning handstands. I did a lot of rings. I kind of did everything.
Yeah, I remember back to our
Yeah.
time at Deep when just one random Friday out of nowhere.
Fridays were always like the party day.
Yeah, it was more chill.
Yeah.
Like, maybe you'll have drinks or whatever.
Yeah.
And then just out of nowhere, you just start doing a handstand against the wall.
Yeah.
And it took you a few goes,
Yeah.
but eventually you got it.
Yeah.
But that is crazy to see, like, that transition because, like, back then it was like you were kind of attempting it. But now on Instagram, I see, like, you're doing the craziest moves. Swing from, like, was it rings?
Rings, yeah.
Doing Olympic lifting.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's really cool to see, like, that entry level point with the kettlebell sessions and then like kind of where you are now, which we're going to come on to that progression.
Yeah.
It's just mind blowing. Like, especially the Olympic style lifting stuff, right? That's pretty mega.
I love it.
That's so cool. How did you go from those early kettlebell sessions to building up your kind of levels through those different gears?
I think just time and interest and curiosity. I remember kind of in the frame days, I was like so involved in that kind of whole community within frame. Frame was actually my entry point into becoming a PT, which we can talk about later. But like, I remember, I can't even remember how I found out about it, but I downloaded the Nike Training Club app.
Oh, cool.
I don't know if you remember it, but it was so great. Like, so I would kind of early days of Instagram and the Nike Training Club app, I would just see workouts and I would go to like events around London where they were sort of hosting with like these really elite trainers. And I just got into it. And I just sort of, my whole world was like protein tubs and like random gyms and classes and just trying things.
Yeah, nice.
Almost to sort of just like, I was just so excited. Like, I just loved movement, basically.
Yeah.
Like, I loved all of it. And I just think, I don't know, when you get the really good endorphins from training,
Yeah.
right? So like, you feel good, so you do more and you
Yeah.
learn more. And then you see somebody doing that, you're like, what's that? I want to try that.
Yeah,
And you
nice.
just kind of, you dabble in everything.
Just that curiosity.
It's a curiosity, I think. But
Wow.
yeah.
That's so cool. I love that kind of what you said there about the Nike app as well, kind of integrating the sort of tech and design into like your training as well. That's really cool.
I said Nike again, didn't I?
Nike Americanized. And I actually noticed the Whoop band as well. Like how is that going? Like what sort of stuff does that track? Because I've been seeing a lot of this kind of
I'm
advertising.
obsessed with it.
Really?
It's like a love-hate relationship. Like, I'm not one of those coaches who's like really data. Like, I'm into the
Right.
data, but I'm not obsessive about my sleep and my recovery and my steps.
Right.
But it's made me obsessed.
Oh, wow.
It's like made me dial
That
into my
detail.
sleep and my recovery and just everything. So now I'm like, basically it keeps telling me that I need to go to bed earlier and earlier and earlier. I'm like, at this point, I'm going to be in bed by 6 p.m.
Wow.
But anyway.
How many hours, like, let's officially cement this. Like, how
Yeah.
many hours sleep are we supposed to be getting? Like, why would
I think everybody is different.
Right,
And that is
okay.
kind of what Whoop is sort of saying. Like, you might not need 8 hours sleep. Your body might recover in a very different way. I genuinely need about 8 hours of sleep, like quality sleep.
Nice.
That's me. Otherwise, I'm like not a functioning human.
Yeah, for sure.
So everybody's different, but 8 hours is good. 8 to 10 is good.
Yeah, nice.
Who gets
nice.
10 hours sleep
No
though?
one. No one in
Nobody.
London, that's for sure. Jeez. Okay, so this is super cool, right? So at what point did it kind of like, successful career, like going through all those top agencies, making your way all the way to Ragged Edge, 5 interviews, grueling process, loving working with creatives, like all of that, like an amazing career, really. And at what point did it kind of start creeping in? You were like, do you know what? I think I might transition.
For a long time.
Really?
So actually, when I was still at Together Design,
Oh, wow.
I was always the person that I would train 5-6 days a week. I would always change into my gym gear, like basically at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I'd go into the bathroom, I'd put on my leggings and put on my stuff, and I'd get the tube to whichever gym. So everybody always knew that that's what I did. And I think at some point I just kind of started, and I don't really know whether like the seed, like when the seed was planted, but at some point it was. And I think I just thought, do you know what I would really love to do? I feel like I would love to do something in fitness, but I wasn't really sure how. So I initially long before I like had my son Elliot, like long before any of that, I was like, I'm going to go through Frame and do they were basically doing the qualification for Group X, so group exercise to music. And I was like, I'm going to do this. I don't know why or how, but I feel like I can do this on the side and teach classes on the weekend. And that would be really fun. It's music, it's exercise, all the things I love. And then I got pregnant and then I had to defer that. But I think for a few years, really wanted to do it. I just wasn't sure how to make it happen and how to make it successful because I had a really great job. Yeah. I had a great salary. Yeah. Like my career was great. I was at a great agency when I finally did decide to leave. Yeah. And it's a hard choice. I'm a very all or nothing person. So I thought if I'm going to do this and make it successful, I need to be all in. Yeah, commit. I can't do it in the evenings if I'm working all day, and I can't do it on the weekends. I need to like
give it your all. Yeah. All or nothing.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, something just popped into my head there. Were you not in an out-of-home campaign for Frame as well at one point? Was that around that?
Yeah,
how did that come about?
It was actually when I was at Together. It was so it was a few years before I did the course through them, because I did end up doing the course through Frame, not my PT course, but my Group X one. But I think they put a shout out on Instagram of like, we're looking for people to be in our King's Cross studio opening campaign, because I think they had Shoreditch, they had Victoria, they had a few studios around London, and they were opening their King's Cross one. Yeah, yeah. And I just like put up a picture and I tagged them. They were like, yeah, great, we'd love to have you. Like, we know you, like, great, let's do it. And then I did it. Amazing. So I was like all over King's Cross Station. I was on the website.
How cool is that?
Yeah, it was super fun.
That's mega.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so you had this gradual fade, like it was kind of, you had this feeling of transitioning. It was going on for a while. And then you went through different kind of gears, like, you know, that course and stuff like that, the music as well, which is great. So there was that fade, but was there a specific moment where it was like, okay, now I need to make a change?
I think, so COVID, it's a big one.
Yeah, yeah.
I had Elliot, my son, and I had a really long mat leave because of COVID. I think it ended up being like 14 months or something, really long. And then so when I decided to go back into work, and I was at Ragged Edge, I was there for, I think, maybe a year. And because everyone is so passionate about what they do, I realized I kind of wasn't.
Yes.
Like I loved everybody. I thought the agency was great, but I was like, I just don't really care anymore. Yeah. And I think that's kind of when the penny dropped and I realized, like, life is too short, right? Everybody had come out of COVID with their own sort of realizations and stuff. And I think my realization was, look, this is something I really love doing. I think I will be really good at it. Yeah. Like, it's now or never. Yeah. And also, like, if you're spending time away from your kids, like, what are you spending that time away from them for? Yeah. Is it because I'm delivering quality work for an agency selling brands? Yeah. Or do I want to be doing something that I like genuinely love? Yes. Yeah.
I think as well, like, I think people in the branding world as well, they can be quite all or nothing with that. Like, it's quite all consuming when you work in agencies, right?
But I understand it.
And it's really, it's competitive, it's full on, and it's really demanding. Yeah. And I guess, like, when you had that penny drop moment, you're like, and you're quite all or nothing as well. And you're just like, do you know what? I need to stop.
Yeah. I was 42. Was I 42? I was 42.
Right. Yeah. And it's like, it's such a, it's not to be all or nothing, you know, naturally that's the way you are, but it's still quite a brave, scary thing to consider, right? Yeah. And it's like, do you find it easy to eventually, once that penny dropped, to do it? Or was it still a little bit like?
No, I was like, yeah, great. Let's do it. Let's fucking do it.
Really?
So I signed up for,
awesome.
To basically I wanted to like just take, I think I took like 6 or 7 months off of just working because I could financially do that. And I just went and got all of my qualifications, my level 3, my Group X, my pre and postnatal, whatever other ones I have. I can't even remember, nutrition, like all the stuff. And I was like, I will be good at this. So let's fucking do it.
Rock and roll. Okay, so after you made the leap and you got things moving, like, how were those first kind of few months when you actually transitioned and became a personal trainer?
Kind of similar to branding, I wanted to work somewhere that was like fucking good.
Yeah.
So I think the day after I got my qualification come through, I went online.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, how do you find personal training jobs? Like, I applied for Equinox.
Wow.
Or Equinox.
Yeah,
Equinox. I applied for Gymbox.
Mm-hmm.
Some other ones that I was less into, but I was like, I'll just apply for these.
Yeah, yeah.
But Gymbox,
Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar
That's
with
the black
Gymbox.
and yellow one, right? Yeah.
Black and yellow, like I think a really great. They were a bit of a disruptor.
Oh, really?
Taking it back to the branding.
Oh, cool. Love that.
terminology.
Love that. Yeah.
But I applied, and like within an hour, they emailed me and said, "We're actually doing an assessment day or whatever tomorrow. If you can come to Covent Garden or wherever it was." And I'm like, yeah, like I'm not employed. Of course I will.
See, when that landed in your inbox, you were like, this is
I was like,
unbelievable.
and I think she called me and I was like, yeah, 100% I'll go. Yeah, what do I need to do? And they like sent me some stuff and I went. And yeah, they were like, yeah, we think you'd be great. Like, come and work for us. Which club do you want to work out of? And I was like, I don't know. And I'd like said one. But I had an amazing mentor. Gymbox are an incredible, I think, brand, an incredible gym, but they really foster their PTs.
Yes.
And so I had an amazing mentor and he was like, look, I'm not going to lie to you. The first few months is going to be like the hardest, but if you can come through the other side of that, you're onto a winner. And I'm not lying when I say the first 3 to 6 months, tough. Especially the first 3 months were really tough.
Whoa.
I remember like leaving the gym and on the bus back to Walthamstow, just like crying because it was, you basically, you start from nothing. You have no clients. You like want to do this thing, but it's really, really hard. So the first 3 to 6 months were really, really tough.
Yeah.
But eventually, kind of around, I think month 4, I like found my groove and I found my niche, and I basically by month 6 I had a full roster of clients. I was fully booked. I was earning really great money. I'd like sort of like was establishing my business as a coach.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was like flying. It was great.
That's so cool. Like, do you remember the first kind of client
I do.
that you trained, and how did it feel and stuff?
Amazing.
Wow.
She approached me on the gym floor. There's a whole thing with, if you're a PT, like you floor walk, like you do this whole thing, and it's like soul destroying. I won't get into it, but like it's like basically imagine you were a designer like begging on the street for like someone to like rebrand. It's kind of like that. You're just like, hey, I'm really good at what I do. Do you want to train with me?
Do you want a logo?
Like pay me money. But my first client, she came up to me and she was like, I love your shoulders. You've got great shoulders.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, cool. She's like, and anyway, we booked like a massive block of sessions, and it was great.
That's so cool.
You sort of realize like, oh, I am good at this thing.
Yeah.
Like I love doing this for myself, but I'm actually good at it with clients. And yeah.
So you were off the mark and you were flying, that kind of sent you on your way.
Yeah.
So like it must be so cool to kind of go through that transformational process with the clients as well.
It's amazing.
Like, is that the kind of like the moment where you feel like...
Honestly, it is why I do what I do. Like it sounds really corny, but I think when you say like transformation, I think there are many ways that you can associate transformation. Like
Nice.
I think in my head, it's more, what is that person's actual goal? Like, is it to be stronger? Like, what are those?
Yeah.
How do you measure that? Like, what does that look like for you? Is it to do a first pull up? Is it to deadlift 100 kilo? Like whatever it is, that is amazing, because when you actually see a client do it, they're super proud because they've put in the work, but you're so elated for them, and you've sort of been a part of that journey, and whatever that journey looks like. And it's incredible because that's someone's like, they're like doing it, right?
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, and it
You're buzzing.
And it kind of like, it has those so many like positive impacts on their life outside
100%.
of the gym as well, right?
Yeah. That's
so cool. So once you kind of got off the mark, you were flying, like, you know, good shoulders and all that.
Great shoulders.
Did you know, like, how long did it kind of take to like find your niche? Because like I can imagine you were like experimenting initially and then eventually.
I think that was kind of the tricky thing. I think because before I was like qualified and before I was actually coaching clients, I was kind of training myself. I'd had various coaches along the way, but like I wasn't quite sure like what is, for lack of a better word, what is my style of coaching? What does my coaching look like? So I kind of experimented with a few, not experimented, but tried different things. So there were a few sessions where I would deliver, I was like, that was not a great session. that was the wrong thing for that person,
So it's
or
trial and error.
it didn't feel authentic.
Right.
And I think what I eventually realized was like, why do I care what that trainer is doing? I'm not that trainer. Because the thing with gym box is there's so many great trainers.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not what I'm good at, or that is not my thing. So I just really leaned into basically the style of training that I like, which is good old fashioned strength and conditioning.
Nice.
And I just leaned into that, and that is what I do.
Wow, that's so cool.
But it's just about, it's like selling something. If you're not authentic, if you don't believe in it, it's really hard to then present that to someone and sell that, isn't it?
I think like your clients will definitely feel the authenticity.
Yeah.
Like they can tell that you kind of live and breathe that yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say as well, like I think there's a bit of a tie through with like having a niche with a brand is kind of key for just clarity of message, and it just like kind of solidifies what you do more.
Yeah.
And it makes it a stronger kind of proposition, right?
Yeah. The thing is it's, I don't want to overcomplicate anything, because I think there's so much noise in the fitness world, right? Just as there is with branding, but like there's so much noise with, like go big or go home. Like you have to do all these things. You have to train 5-6 days a week to make any progress. Like all this stuff. And actually, if you just simplify it, this is like my little brand motto, right? Hey!
You got there. You got there before me.
Lift heavy, move well, and have fun. And it's
Perfect.
literally that simple.
So that's super. I love that, the kind of the power of three as well.
Yes.
Like how, so I love that, first of all, the power of three, but also like how did you kind of land on that 3-line combo?
I don't really know. I think I've spent so much time staring at Canva documents. You'll notice that.
Awesome.
Like, I am not a designer, so I spend a lot of time on Canva. But
Perfect.
like, I was trying to just come up with something that like summed up what my training is, what my coaching style is. And it is just lift heavy stuff.
Yes.
But move well.
Yes.
And fucking have fun.
I love it.
Like
that's the simplicity.
Training shouldn't be boring.
No.
It shouldn't feel soul destroying.
No, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And like you're saying there, there's so much noise and almost confusion. Like people, like you were saying earlier, with the kind of people that are kind of more entry level, it can be quite overwhelming. And like there's just too much info.
It's too much. Where do you start? How do you do it? Like, there's loads.
Amazing. So Tiff, you've been on a wild journey of discovery with fitness, from hating all things PE back in the day to that first kettlebell session to eventually becoming a strength coach. But if you were to go back in time, which exercise do you wish you discovered sooner?
It's got to be weightlifting.
Nice.
And for people who might think weightlifting is just strength training, I'm going to call it Olympic weightlifting. Like it is clean and jerks and snatch.
Clean and jerks and snatch.
I discovered it, like I knew about it, but I didn't really know about it until I was like 42. And then I really started trying to do these lifts when I was 43.
Wow.
And then at 44, I decided to get a coach, like a weightlifting coach.
Oh, wow.
And I absolutely love it. It is the hardest thing on the body. Like it's insane. I mean, who starts weightlifting at like 43, 44?
Wow.
Ridiculous. But like it's such a mental challenge. And I think that's the thing I learned. It's like obviously skill and like just pure strength.
Yeah.
But it is such a mental battle.
Right.
And I think that's the thing I've learned most from it, is that like I'm strong, I can lift weight, but it's really humbling because you'll have a day where a weight will just fly up and everything works perfectly and like you're just like, yes,
clicks.
and you're buzzing. And then a day later or 2 days later, like the weight feels like it's glued to the floor and it like, it's almost like you forget how to hold a barbell. Like it's insane. But you have to mentally get over that. And I think that's the biggest challenge as well as the physical aspect. But I love it. And I don't have many regrets in life, but I regret not starting that when I was like 25.
Yeah, wow.
I could have been like an Olympic athlete.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not, but I could have been.
Would it be Team GB or would it be Team USA?
It's gotta be USA.
I can't believe it.
I don't have a British passport.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, wow. How long have you been here now, actually?
20 years.
20 years?
Yeah, 20 years this year.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow. That's so cool. That's mad. Like,
Yeah.
I find it fun. Like, I've been here 12 years, right?
Mm.
And like, it's mad. Like, sometimes like people have lived in London more than the place they've
Yeah, for
grown-
sure.
Like,
Yeah. I'm almost at that halfway point. I moved to the UK when I was 24.
Wow.
So like in 4 years, I'll have been here the same amount of time that I lived and grew up in the States.
That's so
which
cool.
is kind of wild.
Can I actually ask, so what was the initial, what initially drew you to moving to London? Was it?
So I lived in Rewinds. It's always love. Love is the reason I moved to the UK in the first place. And love is the reason I stayed.
Nice.
And then when things break up or whatever, you're like, well, my life is here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, wow. That's so cool. I love what you were saying there about the Olympic training. And it's so cool to hear that, even at that stage of your training, your journey, you're still finding new things at that stage. You're saying 42 and you're weightlifting.
Yeah.
That's really incredible. And what is it about the Olympic lifting that kind of hooked you in? Was it the challenge? Is it the community? Is it just when everything clicks?
It's the challenge. It's like every day if you really invest in something, it's like with anything, right? If you're learning anything, every day you get a little bit better. And there's loads of brands. I think it's LSKD, which is also a fitness brand, that's 1% better every day.
Nice.
And it's that's so true, right? So 1% better in whatever it is. And it's that you're like, oh, that was shit yesterday. Or, oh, actually, this really clicks. And then you work on that. And so it's just that you're constantly striving to be better and to do better. And you're your own competition, right? There's people around you who you can compare yourselves to.
Yeah.
But they're on their own journey. They might have been doing that for 10 years, longer, whatever.
Yeah.
They might be stronger, bigger, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's every day showing up and sort of competing with yourself in a way of I can do better.
And does that sort of tap into, like you were saying earlier, with the kind of, it's the physical side for sure, but the mental side really is the sort of big thing,
100%.
Right?
And I think strength training makes people better in everyday life anyway, because you get used to sort of being uncomfortable. So you get comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? So you push yourself, you push your limits. You're like, I'm capable of more. I'm capable of doing better, lifting, whatever it is. And that mental, it's like a mental capacity. You're just you keep pushing. Sounds really corny, but I think that you're never too old to try something new.
Yeah.
I changed careers at 42.
Yeah.
A lot of people probably thought I was an idiot, but fuck it, why not? But actually, why shouldn't I start weightlifting at 43, 44, 50? People start fitness when they're 50. You're never, ever, ever too old to start. And anything, the day you start is only going to be a good thing.
So speaking of learning something new, despite already having a vast knowledge in the space yourself, you also have a fitness coach.
I do. So I've had many coaches over the years, but I think with something like weightlifting, I basically got to a point to where I couldn't get past I was basically just stuck. And I was like, if I actually want to get good at this thing, I need someone who knows how to do this thing.
Yeah.
And so having a coach has been so invaluable, because actually, on many levels, but someone who can teach you how to break the lifts down, for example, and teaches you to build strength in certain parts of the lift, and structure your programming so that you aren't just wasting time when you're in the gym, but you're working towards a progression and you're getting better, you're learning the technique. That's been amazing. But also because weightlifting is such a mentally challenging thing, having a coach is basically like having your own personal cheerleader, and they can really say, they can help you push your limits or know where your limits are, or help you dial things back a little bit, or they know when to push you and when to support you and when not to sort of push you. And actually, it's having someone who can really just say, you're doing great, here's what you need to work on, or here's how we can make that better, or they really invest in you, and that's amazing.
Yeah. I was going to say, when they're pushing you to your absolute limits, you're lifting the heaviest weight you've ever lifted.
Yeah.
That comes with pulling ridiculous faces, right?
It does. Yeah.
Can you give us
You're going to ask me to do it, aren't you?
Can you give us a demo of your best weightlifting face? Into this camera.
I can. Am I going really red?
No, it's all good.
So I basically do what I think is an old man face. It's so unflattering. I had in fact, a girl who photographs a lot of the RAD campaign came and did a shoot with me.
Oh, cool.
And I'm like, I hate all my weightlifting pictures because I just like look like an old man. I'm going to do it.
Go for it.
It's basically it. That's not even it.
That's the thumbnail. That's the thumbnail.
I feel like that's not even it. It's very much like... I don't know.
In keeping with fitness,
Yeah.
we're going to jump into a shuttle session.
Okay.
So just some rapid fire sprints.
Great. I'm terrible at sprinting. Let's do it.
I'm going to throw you a topic, run with it,
Yeah.
however long or short you want.
Okay.
And when I feel like you're running out of steam, I'm just going to throw you another one.
Okay, cool. Love it.
Just no rest for the wicked. Just sprint and go to the end. And
Great.
we'll get there.
Let me get my electrolytes.
Yes, get them in. Cadence. Get the rhythm. Are you down?
I'm down.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Topic number 1. Gym music.
Oh, okay. Gym music. I'm hardcore metal all the way, which is weird because I fucking hate metal music. But I love training to it. It really, like Pantera, Deftones, like grindy hardcore, like Slayer. All these bands that I basically made fun of my whole life. They are absolute fire when I train. They just lock me in.
Roller derby.
Roller derby. So I played roller derby when I first moved to London. I was Bruce Willis, very much.
Bruce Willis.
I like the saying, it was love at first bruise. Roller derby basically encapsulated everything that I basically loved. So growing up in Texas, which I think is where roller derby originated, it's really popular. I loved punk rock music. I loved just I'm quite an aggressive person, I think. It's quite aggressive. It was punk rock. It was like all women. I'm an amazing roller skater.
Class.
So when I moved to London, there was like a call out for auditions, and it was hundreds of girls with varying skating abilities. And I went and auditioned, and I was like, fucking nailed it. And I got in, and I loved it. Metal,
Rock and roll.
rock and roll.
6-week transformations.
Bullshit. So 6 weeks you can achieve, hey, listen, you can lose some fat, you can learn some skills, but essentially what are you going to achieve in 6 weeks? Very little.
Yeah.
Really, you need to give yourself longer to actually build sustainable habits that you can actually maintain for life, ideally.
Yeah.
Takes longer for your nutrition to kick in, to get into good habits with eating, to learn skills. Yeah, bullshit.
Bullshit. Farm fitness.
Oh, it's like my happy place.
Nice.
So farm fitness, when I was in London and I was thinking about the move out of London, farm fitness was the place I was like, I want to work there. I don't work there, but I do train there now. So it's essentially like a CrossFit gym, High Rocks CrossFit gym. People who train there, there's like GB athletes, really elite people who train there.
Wow.
Not every day, but people who are just really good at what they do. And it's a really I've always been like a solo trainer, but it's much more of like a community vibe. So especially with the Olympic lifting, if you're really struggling, or if you just all of a sudden you hear someone in the back going, "Go on, Tiff!" just from nowhere. It's an amazing community. I love training there. Great people. It's a vibe.
Mumcore.
Yeah. I feel like I am mumcore today.
Love it.
So mumcore, people won't know what this is, but on my Instagram, a year ago, it might have even just been a really bad outfit that I was wearing. Basically what I call man repellent jeans, some sort of normcore trainer, and a top. And and I think on my Instagram I dubbed it mumcore. And now, anytime I feel like I'm wearing a ridiculous outfit, you can classify that as any way you want.
Yeah.
It could be cool or it could be not cool.
Yeah.
It is mumcore.
Wow.
I'm a mum, I'm busy, but I don't have time for fashion.
Have you coined the phrase?
Maybe.
I think this is your phrase. I love it.
Maybe, but I feel like it could be a movement. I feel like it should be a movement.
So Tiff, there's so many myths and confusion surrounding the fitness industry as well. So let's bust some myths.
Let's do it.
Let's do this, right? So there was a post on at Time Magazine on Instagram, and it said, "Arms must be sculpted but not too large. Powerful but still feminine. The line is policed by culture and reinforced by class. Achieving the perfect balance of muscle and thinness requires money, personal trainers, nutritionists, and time. Can you give us some context on this, and what do you think of this?
That's what I think about it. And I know what Time Out was sort of saying. They're like kind of like shining a light on sort of just how ridiculous it sort of is. But I also hate the narrative around the fact that you need lots of money to make it happen.
Yeah.
That you need a nutritionist, that you need a personal trainer, that you need all this stuff. Because at the end of the day, there are lots and lots and lots and lots of people out there who just get fucking strong and don't have a nutritionist, don't have a personal trainer. They just fucking grind. They just work hard. They lift heavy. They do whatever. Like, you don't need all these things to have
all those layers.
That. It's like, I think the whole toned arms thing has now become like a fashion accessory.
Yeah.
Which is like cool in some ways, like, because it sort of encourages women to get strong. Like, you can only get muscles in your arms by getting stronger, right?
Yeah.
But like, I also kind of hate that it's just like, oh, you know, it's like a thing.
Yeah.
It's just boring. I don't know. I'm a bit grumpy with this sort of stuff. Like, I think people should just be able to do what they want to do. And yeah, forget the noise.
Yeah, like that whole notion of like, it's almost trying to say like it's only for like elitist, or like you need all these layers of 200 quid a month, like membership, like dialed nutrition, but actually it's not true.
Yeah. And actually, I think when I first started out training, I couldn't afford a personal trainer. I've never had a nutritionist. But what I did do is I used apps or Instagram for like inspiration, or Google, like Googling workouts, like whatever it was, because I didn't have money to get a trainer. And when I did decide to invest in a personal trainer eventually, that was something I got a lot of value from.
Yeah.
But like, it didn't start there.
Yeah.
And I was lucky and privileged enough that I could afford it, but you don't need to. There's like lots of people out there who don't do those things and don't have those things and don't have money, who are still fucking jacked.
Amazing. Like, let's bust this myth once and for all, right?
Yeah.
Women should not lift heavy.
They absolutely fucking should. As women get older, like, they lose like muscle mass, bone density, like strength training is only going to make your life and quality of life better as you get older. Stronger bones, stronger muscle mass, because we just lose it as we get older.
Yeah.
That's a fun thing of being a woman. Yay. But like, when I'm 80, I want to be able to sit down on the toilet and get up. I want to be able to like lift my bag in an overhead locker on a plane.
Yeah.
Like, you should absolutely be lifting heavy. It makes your quality of life better so that nobody has to take care of me when I'm old. So lift heavy.
This is the best thing for you.
100%.
And it really kind of enhances.
Protein and lifting heavy.
Protein, lifting heavy.
Yeah.
Awesome. So when you're training women and who are new to lifting heavy, how do you have to kind of help them overcome like this narrative, or do they kind of like the fear of getting bulky?
Yeah, loads. Like, it's such a thing. Like, so when I start training any of my clients, we have a whole foundation phase, depending on where they are, but like, you learn the basics and learn them well.
Right.
So deadlift, squats, pushing, pressing, like pulling, whatever. Learn the basics, learn your technique so that you don't get injured. But 9 times out of 10, they're like, oh, I don't want to get bulky. I don't want to like get too muscly. And I'm like, do you know how much you would have to eat and have to train to get bulky?
Right.
I wish I was bulkier. Like, this is my job.
Because you lift really heavy, right?
I do lift. Well, yeah. I mean, I used to lift heavier, but I think I lift pretty heavy for like my size. But like, it's this narrative that women are so used to from just decades of nonsense, where they're like, oh, I don't want to get too bulky. And like, you would have to do a lot to get bulky.
Yeah.
And actually what they find is, normally if a client comes to me for like, to lose a bit of weight, 9 times out of 10, the thing they feel most proud about is how strong they feel. And like, losing weight and all that stuff comes as a byproduct. And when they see like a little tricep pop, they're like, ooh, like it's such an achievement.
Yeah.
So yeah, they embrace it eventually, but yeah.
And then I guess like tapping back into what you were saying earlier about like your everyday life after that as well, like you really feel the benefits.
100%.
So weight training, is it suitable for beginners? Like, or do they need experience, or can you just jump straight into it?
I'm going to do a little plug, but it's not a plug. I think if you're starting out, it's great to have a trainer.
Yeah.
Not everybody can do that for obvious reasons, financial reasons, but it's a great place to actually learn the basics well and kind of just look, people can't afford to have a trainer forever. But if you learn the basics well, if you sort of build that strong foundation and kind of know what you're doing, you can build from that on your own. So even if you decide, I'm going to invest in a trainer for like 3 months, you will get so much benefit from that will last you a lifetime because it is an investment basically in your health and your future and your longevity, everything.
Yeah.
So it's actually a small price to pay. Like, what do you spend on a night out or what do you spend on whatever?
Yeah, nice.
So it's like an investment into yourself. But I think weightlifting is great for beginners. You can also just kind of go and learn as you go. Like, you see that a lot. But I think a trainer is great because it just teaches you the basics.
And do your clients need access to these gym memberships or gyms to follow your programs, or?
Not necessarily. So the clients I train one-to-one will train in my gym. But I have a lot of online clients where they might train in a gym, or they might have home gyms, or they have just a set of kettlebells and dumbbells. And so it's completely bespoke to them and what they do. And
nice.
Yeah.
So you can do it with like just a few pieces of kit, or just at home, or
100%.
just online
I do
as
find
well?
it online, and I do find it gets harder if you have limited kit because your progression with weights is going to be quite limited. So there's kind of, sometimes it's a conversation with someone about like, do you want to get some heavier kettlebells? Because there's a lot of ways you can add progress, but you will eventually get to a point to where you're like, you can't get any heavier than that, right? So yeah.
Nice. So you also specialize in pre and postnatal training, right? And if I'm right, if I've got this right, you actually kept training until 42 weeks pregnant.
Yeah.
So is there any myths or misconceptions around training whilst pregnant?
Loads.
Oh, really?
Loads. I mean, I got so much shame when I was in the gym with like my massive belly out, like deadlifting. Because I think people just aren't used to seeing pregnant women take up space in a gym, right? You obviously, first things first, you have to like do what's safe, listen to your doctor, like all those things that you should be doing if you're pregnant. It's probably not a good thing to start lifting heavy if you're like 6 months pregnant and you've never lifted in your entire life. But being fit is only going to be better for the baby, for you, for giving birth, for being a new mum and carrying a baby around. So absolutely, if it's safe for you to do so, if your doctor approves, etc., it's absolutely safe to do. And I trained, until they basically told me to stop. Like, you're having a baby tomorrow, stop.
And when that's awesome. So, when you stopped, you had to stop, that must have been pretty tricky for you, right? Because you're always training.
It was the longest I'd ever taken off of training.
Really?
6 weeks.
6 weeks? So you were back into it after 6 weeks?
Literally, the 6 week. Basically, after you have a baby, they're like, you have your 6 week checkup, where they basically don't check anything. But 6 weeks to the day, I was like back in the gym.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow. So I guess that comes on to the more kind of the postnatal stuff, right?
Yeah.
So is there kind of some tailored program bits that
100? Yeah, like there's so many things that come after having a baby, which we won't get into now, but like a lot of my clients, so when I had a home studio in Walthamstow before I moved out of London, and those were all my pre and postnatal clients. So you had women with like severe prolapse and women who really needed to strengthen their pelvic floor and lots of stuff. So you tailor it to wherever they are in that sort of that birthing journey and what their pregnancy was like, what their delivery was like, and how their bodies are afterwards. So it's really tailored. You have to just be quite careful with not careful with what you do with them, but really specific to them.
Each individual's different, and just really curate it for them.
Exactly.
And I wanted to ask you, we're just about to end on the lightning round, but before we do that, I wanted to ask you one more thing. Like, that feeling you get, right? You've kind of maybe been stressed out, like with just life stuff. You go to the gym, you get into flow state, you just get into your session, you get kind of lost in your session.
Yeah.
That feeling you get afterwards.
Yeah.
Can you describe that feeling?
Euphoric. No. You just feel good. Like, look, not every session is going to be 100% or amazing. Often your sessions are bang average.
Yeah.
But like, on the whole, you never regret a workout. When you leave a workout, you're like, yeah, I've done that, great. You never regret a workout. So it's that just like constant feeling of, you just feel lighter.
It's such a good feeling.
If you're in a shit mood, lift heavy.
It just clears your mind,
It just
right?
clears your mind. Put some headphones on, lock in, train. You always feel better afterwards. And often I do my best thinking when I'm training.
Yeah, nice. It really untangles thoughts.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
You get that clarity.
Yeah.
How important is consistency?
It's the most important thing.
Wow.
It is the most important thing.
Wow.
So like, if you only train 3 times a week for a year, that's better than the person who trains 7 days a week for 3 weeks, takes 2 weeks off, goes 7 days. Do you know what I mean? That inconsistency. Consistency is the best thing.
Yeah,
it's what helps you get better, stronger, build the healthy habits that make that last a lifetime.
Yeah.
It's the most important thing.
So rather than just going like once and like trying to go for like 8 hours or something, you're like going, oh, I've nailed it. But actually, if you just kind of chill out a bit and just be
If
consistent.
you can go twice a week, go twice a week forever. It's better than going 5 days, 5 days, no days, 5. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that kind of like broken rhythm.
The inconsistency is what just kills it. But
Yeah.
being consistent with whatever that looks like for you is the best thing. And it's
Nice.
also the most sustainable, right? So you're more likely to stick to it.
We're going to end on a quick lightning round.
Okay.
It's just quicks, like this or that. Don't
Yeah.
overthink it.
Okay.
Just whatever comes to mind.
Okay.
Rad or Converse?
Oh, that's super hard. Rad. I'm going to regret that later.
Front squat or back squat?
Back squat.
Favorite cheat meal?
Oh, burger and chips.
So American.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
But I don't eat beef, so a chicken burger and chips.
Chicken burger, nice.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Protein. Pure
Right.
protein.
What song helps you lift that extra 10%?
Pantera, I'm broken.
Pantera, I'm broken. Love it. Shout out Pantera. Chalk hands or lifting straps?
Ooh. Chalk.
Chalk.
Yeah.
Where does your strength come from? Last one, Pantera or Deftones?
Oh. Deftones for overall coolness.
Deftones, here we go. Happy days, love it, absolutely loved it. I know you're super, super busy, so thank you so much for
My
coming
pleasure.
today. And yeah, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Anytime.
Thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll catch you in the next one. Oh, by the way, I actually saw something. It was actually literally 2 days ago. It just flashed up in my notifications on an email. Deftones
Yes.
headlining.
I know.
Or playing All Points East.
I didn't know they were doing that, but I'm seeing them in February
Oh, really?
at the O2. I bought tickets
O2.
like months ago.
Wow.
This is so weird. Like my boyfriends forever ago were so into Deftones. I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh,
You
like,
love it.
I cannot wait. I bought 1 ticket. I'm going by myself.
Serious?
I'm going by
For
myself.
O2?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
I did, funnily enough, there's another girl that trains at my gym. She also ended up getting a ticket. So we're going to
Oh, perfect.
yeah, so I've got a little gig date.
Oh, how good is that?
Yeah.
That's
rock
so
out.
good.